but then it just devolves into madness and insanity, and I don't like it. Hi, my name is Lacey, and welcome to my recap of episode 10, the finale of the Big D. I'm gonna miss these D's, you know? They brought a lot of entertainment, these D's. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and your support is very much appreciated, so thank you. As it's the finale, we have two viable couples in the running left. We have Casey and Ben. La 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 la, get a good look. And we have Alexis and Devin. Get a good look at them now. Ooh, there's Alexis and there's Devin. How nice. And those are the two couples left in the running for the Big D winners. And because it is the finale, all the other couples, the eliminated couples or singles in some cases, come back to the villa and they get to decide on who wins the Big D. And so everybody's milling and mixing and intermingling about, and Brooks and Casey just got into a fight. Casey's gone away into the room crying with some other girls, or women, I'm sorry. And Brooks is off somewhere. So now the kerfuffle is between Dean and Devin. So Dean is now like butthurt at Devin, still for the wife nonsense. I talked about this before. I feel like he's making sense, but then it just devolves into madness and insanity, and I don't like it. And then Dean is saying, "Oh, you like my wife," and then Devin's like, "No, I like my wife better." And it's just like, why are we even doing this? So Alexis takes Devin into the other room to stop this, and she's like, "I thought you were done with this temper." And he's like, "Hey, I would have punched him if this was me like earlier. So like I walked away when you wanted me to." So she's like, "Okay, fair enough, that's growth." They're fine. Jillian, I don't like her. I feel like she is very judgy. She's very judgmental. So Jillian pulls Angelique, who has been dating Jillian's ex, David, but they're no longer together. And Jillian pulls Angelique, and Jillian's telling Angelique how fast they moved, how David was just relishing any attention that he was getting from anybody, that she's not that special. And Angelique's like, "Are you slut-shaming me for moving fast? Like, I express myself the way I want to, so don't fucking judge me." And Jillian's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to." And Angelique says she's glad she did what she did and she had fun. So Jillian can shut her mouth. In that morning, the hosts and Dr. Jada say that everyone in the villa gets to vote. Not the main couples, because obviously they're going to vote for themselves. So everybody, all the eliminated people, get to vote on the winner, and the winning couple gets $50,000 to do with as they please, but the two couples have to plead their case to the rest of the group later that evening. I don't like this. It's like, why do you deserve it? Prove it to us. I just, like, that seems so icky, especially in a love situation. If it were like a talent or I don't know, a job situation, a skill set, I would say, "Oh, I can prove it by typing this fast," blue. Or, "Oh, I can prove it by building a house." But like, how do you prove love? That kind of, I don't know. That irked me when they said they had to prove it and present their cases. "I love this person this much with my PowerPoint." Jillian pulls David, and they have a second conversation, and he's trying to maintain some sort of polite, cordial relationship with her, but she's just kind of nasty, and she just kind of makes digs here and there to him, and it's like, why are you even doing this? Like, just let it go, just move on. Like, so he calls her out on it and says that he wants to move forward and move on. So can we like be at peace now? He's already apologized. You've already had your closure moment. Don't be a dick. Ben is a classy fellow, and he pulls Brooks to have a chat after the explosion that happened the night before. Ben is very comforting, very understanding, very, I understand where you're coming from, Brooks. Like, you know, like, let's talk, is like, chill. He's very calming. I like Ben a lot. Brooks says that he's angry and he's finding it hard to move on. And Ben says that he has only good intentions for Casey. And Brooks and Ben say that they want Casey happy and that it's just going to take Brooks a little bit more time to kind of be okay with everything. Brooks then goes and apologizes to Casey for going through all that crap the night before. She apologizes to him, you know, like, I'm sorry our marriage didn't work. I'm sorry that I didn't say these things to you when we were together, because she tended to run away from confrontation. But now she's like finally expressing herself. They both apologize to each other, but they know that they're toxic together, so it's kind of over. Casey then thanks Ben for his role in the whole Brooks Casey Ben thing, and talking to Brooks and being very mature and calming about the whole situation. While Casey's talking to Ben, though, Jillian, Joe, and Takor are all talking in the pool, watching them, and they're talking about how fake they are. That's rich coming from Jillian, Joe, and Takor. The biggest D's nuts of them all. Alexis and Devin go on a date, and she thanks him for his growth and maturity in dealing with his temper. Jillian and Dean are gabbing away at the villa, and Dean is saying how fake Devin and Alexis are. And Jillian's like, what? I thought that Casey and Ben were the fake ones. Now these are the fake ones? And she's just trying to be like, oh. And he's like, just going off on how fake they are. And he's like, I tell you, they are fake. 100%. And she's like, oh. It's time for the presentations. Ben and Casey. Ben says it's his first real connection since Angelique. And Casey says they are still discovering themselves. It is very new, but they are going to take it slow because they both have children involved. And so that makes it a little bit more serious when somebody new comes into the picture. Additionally, the money they would use to travel, because Ben is in Utah, and I forget where Casey is, but not in Utah. Because who wants to go to Utah? I forget who, but somebody asks, oh, what are the red flags in this with Ben? And Casey's like, oh, there are none yet, because I don't know yet. And some of the people, like, I think it's Dean and Takor, take a little offense to this, or a little like, They get a little sassy about it. And one of the hosts, the guy, I don't know his name, the host says, like, no, you know, it is new. You don't know red flags until they arise, and they might not have arisen yet because we're in a bubble. It's not, you know, things are cool here. So the host backed them up a little bit, which I appreciated, because the hosts are pretty useless otherwise. And we move on to Devin and Alexis. They talk about how even though they tried to explore other people and get to know other people, they were always drawn back to each other. Even though they had fights, they grew into better people throughout, and they learned and they grew together. They would spend the money for their debts, for marriage counseling, and a wedding they never had since they apparently eloped before. Dean asks Devin how they know that the temper won't cause another issue, and they said, well, you know, it's just baby steps, and we have to use communication, and that's our challenge. The two couples step away and everybody gets their vote, and it is a big step that Brooks votes for Casey and Ben, because he's essentially letting go. And the winner of the Big D is Devin and Alexis. Round of applause. We all knew this was gonna happen. At the end, during the credits, there's little text bubbles that come up for a couple of the couples. And they say that Devin and Alexis are still together and working things out. Casey and Ben are no more. David made plans for a romantic trip with Angelique, but she ghosted him. And Dean and Amber are still together and trying to make it work despite their long distance. And that is it for the Big D. I don't know if it's going to be picked up for a second season. I don't think even season 1 was supposed to be picked up, to be honest. So I enjoyed what we had. So I hope it comes back with equally enjoyable cast members. And that's it. What am I going to do without these Ds? I'll have to look into other letters. What did you guys think of the Big D? Did you like this series? Did you think the right couple won? Were you as entertained as I was throughout the whole thing? Please tell me your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.